You notice it for the first time when you are 5 years old. Not a sound, not a smell, not anything you can point at and name. It is more like a pressure, a low, persistent hum underneath your skin. You do not tell anyone because you do not have the words for it. Children rarely do. You assume everyone feels it. You assume it is normal. It is not normal. What you are feeling is cursed energy. And in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, that changes everything. Here is what most people do not know about the world you are living in. Cursed energy is not rare. Every human being generates it, passively, constantly, as a byproduct of negative emotions, fear, grief, hatred, regret, the ordinary suffering of being alive. It leaks out of non-sorcerers continuously, accumulating in the world, pooling in places where tragedy has occurred, in hospitals, in prisons, in the sites of accidents and violence, and eventually condensing into cursed spirits. Invisible creatures born from humanity's darkest feelings that exist for no reason except to harm the humans who unknowingly created them. Over 10,000 people in Japan die or disappear every year from causes that the official record cannot explain. Cursed spirits are responsible for most of them. And the people dying have no idea why, because they cannot see what is killing them. You can. This is the first thing that separates you. Most people cannot perceive cursed spirits at all. The energy passes through them and they feel nothing, see nothing, and die confused if a curse decides they are interesting enough to consume. You, from the age of 5, have been feeling something that the majority of the human population will never sense in their entire lives. That pressure under your skin is not a malfunction, it is a gift. And like most gifts in this world, it comes with a cost attached that nobody mentioned when they handed it to you. Sometime around your 5th or 6th birthday, something else begins. Your innate technique manifests. This is not a choice. It is not trained into you. It is carved into the right prefrontal cortex of your brain, like a program running on hardware you were born with. Every sorcerer has one, unique to them, impossible to fully replicate. A specific application of cursed energy that belongs to you alone. Some techniques are dramatic. Fire. Barriers that trap enemies in sealed dimensions. Shadows that swallow the world. Some are subtle. A ratio point that creates a structural weakness in anything you touch. A voice that turns words into curses. What yours looks like only you know. But it is yours. The problem is that having an innate technique and knowing how to use it are two very different things. At some point, the Jujutsu world finds you. It always does. Someone with the ability to sense cursed energy will notice yours. A sorcerer from Jujutsu High doing routine monitoring of potential students. They approach carefully, because a young person who can generate cursed energy and has a manifesting technique but no training is genuinely dangerous. You are brought to Jujutsu High School. Not the building you would picture if someone said the words high school. A complex of traditional buildings on elevated ground in Tokyo. You meet your teacher. If you are fortunate, your teacher is someone like Satoru Gojo, who is by some significant margin the most powerful sorcerer alive, and who treats the gap between his ability and yours as something genuinely worth closing. If you are slightly less fortunate, your teacher is Todo, who will immediately ask you what type of girl you like and evaluate your entire character on the basis of your answer. Your first lesson is not a technique. Your first lesson is control. Because cursed energy that leaks uncontrolled into the world does not stay neutral. It becomes food for cursed spirits. Every sorcerer who cannot contain their output is, without meaning to, feeding the exact creatures they are supposed to be fighting. Control means learning to feel the flow of energy through your body the way a musician learns to feel rhythm. This takes months. It takes some people years. A few never fully manage it. Then comes the grading system. Jujutsu High assigns every student and sorcerer a grade, from 4 at the bottom to 1 at the top, with special grade existing above that in a category that functions less like a rank and more like a warning label. You begin at grade 4. This sounds modest. Grade 4 means you are capable of handling the lowest level cursed spirits. But do not mistake modest for safe. A grade 4 curse is still invisible to most of humanity, still capable of killing someone with no ability to defend themselves, Still something that you, as a student with weeks or months of training, are being asked to go out and deal with in the real world before you have finished learning. This is the thing about Jujutsu High that nobody prepares you for. It is not a school in the way schools usually work. There is no grace period. There is no training arc where you stay safely in the building until you are ready. Missions begin almost immediately. You will go into the field alongside more experienced sorcerers. And the gap between your technique manifesting and your technique being reliable is a gap you are expected to close while actively fighting for your life. Itadori Yuji went from discovering cursed energy existed to eating a cursed object the size of a human finger and getting deployed to a detention center full of transformed humans in the same week. That is the pace of this world. It does not slow down for you because it cannot. Curses do not wait for you to be ready. Your innate technique is extraordinary. Genuinely yours. But in the early weeks, it will not always activate the way you intend. There will be moments in the field where you reach for it, and the connection stutters. Where the cursed energy that felt so clear in training becomes slippery under pressure. Where a curse you were told would be manageable turns out to be stronger than assessed. And you are standing in a closed space with something that wants to consume you, and your technique is not cooperating. And you understand what it means to operate in a world where the consequences of failure are not a failing grade. The sorcerers who survive this world and eventually rise through the grades are not the ones with the most spectacular techniques. They are the ones who learned to keep moving when the technique failed. Who built enough physical ability, enough tactical awareness, enough composure under the specific pressure of being hunted. Nanami Kento's technique is a ratio point. Elegant, precise, deeply practical, and almost boring to describe. He became a grade 1 sorcerer not because his technique was overwhelming, but because his mind was. He understood his limits with perfect clarity, and fought inside them with total efficiency. You have an innate technique. You have cursed energy that has been building in you since you were 5 years old. You have a teacher who believes, for reasons that are not always immediately obvious, that you are worth the investment of their time. And you have every curse that has accumulated in the negative spaces of human experience. In the hospitals, the dark corridors, the places where people suffered alone, waiting for you to either get good enough to handle them or fail to. The pressure under your skin has not gone away. It never does. But now you know what it is for. The question is whether you can learn to use it before the world asks you to.